Thank you to Ralph Mayo. You were there when I was in high school. Thank you to the Vice Principal, Dana Talata, Superintendent Joni Jones, and the entire Board of Education. This is a huge honor for me, but especially for my family. But most of all, congratulations to the class of 2024. Y'all made it. This place is not easy. It's huge. It's scary and it's loud. I still get butterflies on my stomach when I see the glass corridor. I parked there 2 hours ago and I swear to God, I almost ran away and bailed on the entire thing. My first day here, the seniors seemed like giants. Some of them had facial hair. The student center was a mosh pit of noise. I had no idea how I could get from class to class on time. It seemed impossible. And just like now, today, the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers were awesome when I was here. And when both teams were in the finals in 1994, the entire student center would erupt in chants, "Let's go Rangers, let's go Knicks," during every passing time. I still get chills thinking about it. I spent most of my open blocks, and I think I might have cracked 20 open blocks as a senior, a real achievement in laziness. Sorry, Mom and Dad. We debated sports the entire time. We debated whether the Knicks could ever beat Michael Jordan. No. And of course, the Mets versus the Yankees. And I just want, if you take anything from this day today, Mets versus Yankees is a clear-cut case of good and evil. The Mets are good. Sorry. I was 1,000% sure I wanted to be a sports writer, which is what I am now. I didn't know how to do it. I kind of thought it would just happen to me. Flash forward to my freshman year of college at Dartmouth College. Someone wrote an essay in a school paper that included a very mean joke about Greenwich, how it was a bubble, how everyone here was snooty. Naive 18-year-old me, I was fired up. Who was this guy? How dare he? I wrote in a response defending Greenwich. This was the start of my journalism career. I don't even know what I wrote, it was awful. The same writer wrote a response back to me in the paper, and in simple, ruthless words, he told me I was a silly little freshman who knew nothing about anything. I was humiliated. That was the last thing I wrote publicly for 10 years. I forgot about journalism. I cowered. That the incident involved Greenwich was fitting for me. In most ways, this is a great place to grow up. A lot of you are entering the world with lots of advantages. But 18-year-old me had never experienced any real adversity. I had never done anything daring, never exposed myself to real, actual failure. Part of that was my fault. I was a wimp. I never ever went into New York City. I thought it was like a criminal hellscape where you would get out at Grand Central and get stabbed immediately. But I didn't have to be daring. I didn't have to risk failure. This can be a very safe place. It's very comfortable. Not for everyone, but for a good number of people here. So when it came time to choose a career, I stuck with what was comfortable. I became a teacher. School. I was good at school. Maybe I just never leave school. It's in my blood too. My mom, Joan, was an English teacher and a guidance counselor and then a social worker here at GHS for 38 years. On Fridays, I would go to Sheldon House and ask her for $1 so I could take advantage of 25-cent cookie day. That can't exist anymore, right? There can't be a 25-cent cookie day anymore. My dad, Terry, was a math teacher here for 39 years and just finished his 56th year as the swim coach. I knew better than to ask him for the $1. The swimmers know what I'm talking about. They're both here, they're up there in the press box. They're my heroes, along with my wife Vesna and my daughter Mata, who are over there on the track. I didn't have the stamina for teaching high school. High school students are really, really hard to deal with every day. I hate to break it to you guys, it was tough. I left and I studied to become a college professor, school. I could do school. And I got bored real fast. I was in my late 20s, and I was totally lost. Maybe it was finally time to try journalism. I freelanced covering some high school football games in Virginia for $50 a pop, $40 a pop, something like that. Eventually, I got a job covering crime at the Stanford Advocate on the night shift, 3 p.m. to midnight, right next door in Stanford. And I learned real fast what journalism actually is. You think it's going on TV and giving your opinion and yelling at people? No. It's asking strangers uncomfortable questions. It's making people angry. When police and witnesses are yelling at you to leave a crime scene, you learn to be uncomfortable real fast. I met teenagers in Stanford who were growing up in much different circumstances than I had here. Some of them were reluctant to talk to me at first. Some of them were outright hostile to me. I was nervous, but I kept showing up on their favorite street corners until they trusted me. And I learned more about the world, the real actual world, from them than I did from any of my college classes. Sports journalism, which is what I do now, it's super fun. But to be good at it, it's just old-fashioned hard work. I missed Father's Day to be in Boston for the NBA Finals. I had a 6 a.m. flight to Chicago on Mother's Day. Luckily, the gifts I left, I think, turned out pretty well. And I was up trying to crash the Celtics party last night until 2:30 in the morning. I won't say whether I got internet. I work nights, I work weekends. There are 5 games every Christmas. I write on planes. I write my columns on planes, and I travel with the Wi-Fi hotspot so I can watch games in Uber rides. Every second counts. Make the most of every second. And even now you think, oh, ESPN guy, he must be so secure and confident. It's still super uncomfortable. Every day brings new chances of embarrassment, failure, unwanted attention. Mark Cuban cursed me out on national TV for calling Luka Doncic a whiner. Literally, he said on national TV, F you, Zach Lowe. It was a really fun 72 hours for my phone. Players call me out for things I say or when my predictions are wrong. And there are times when I've wanted to hide, to shut off my phone, crawl into my hotel bed, put the covers over my head, and just stop. But you have to keep on going. I try not to even think of all the ways I can screw up on live television. ESPN has asked me to do crazy things. I drove a neon green Lamborghini around South Beach, Miami. Those are hard to drive. It could have gone really badly. I've dressed on TV as Oscar the Grouch, worn a pink sweater that went way past down my knees, a bedazzled red jacket. These are all very long NBA stories, and it was completely ridiculous. I even did a stunt where I ate as many Garden Catering chicken nuggets as I could in 3 minutes on live television, and then had to talk about basketball with Garden Catering chicken nuggets in my mouth. I got to 10 in 3 minutes. It's harder than you think. When LeBron James was about to break the all-time scoring record last year, he granted me a 15-minute interview at halftime of a game in Brooklyn. It was my only shot. One shot. LeBron is super duper smart. If he thought my first question was boring, it was over. He would bolt. I could barely sleep the night before. A few years before that, the late Kobe Bryant invited me out of the blue to watch a game with him at his office, and I knew exactly what it was. He was thinking about getting involved in media after he retired, and he wanted to see, does this nerdy dude on ESPN actually know anything? Like, if I bring him to my office, is he going to be able to watch a game with me? I was terrified. I'd never even met Kobe. But I've learned that the more nervous something makes me, the better off I'll be for trying it. What's the worst that could happen? Kobe calls me a moron and kicks me out? Who cares? Life goes on. Instead, I spent 3 hours with Kobe talking hoops and sipping beer. I have that memory forever now. Like a lot of you, I bet, I fretted about grades and where I would go to college when I was here. The older I get, the more I think none of that matters. It can get you in the door, but it can't keep you in the door. What matters is grit and toughness and endurance. The ability to do hard things again and again and again and wake up the next day and do more of them again and again and again. That's a skill. You can learn that skill. And the best way is to get out of your comfort zone as often as you can. Meet people who don't look like you or sound like you or come from places like Greenwich. A great debt that I owe my wife is that she demanded, damn it, Greenwich kid, bubble Greenwich kid, I am going to make you see the world. My passport had expired when we had started dating. That changed real fast. When I once had 2 weeks between jobs, she said, "You have to go somewhere, anywhere. I don't care where it is. You're not wasting away in your apartment for 2 weeks playing video games or watching TV." And she meant it. I went by myself to Guatemala, climbed a volcano, met strangers for dinners, and I am so proud that my wife is teaching those same values to our daughter. Mata Joanna Lowe, you are over there, and if you keep being like Mama, you're gonna kick butt in life. Listen to people whose life experiences are different than yours. Learn to be empathetic. The world is connected now, and to understand it, to understand yourself, you have to try to understand people from different places with different backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds than you. Go live in a foreign country where you know no one and you don't speak the language, and figure it out. One of my great regrets from college is that I did not do that. It would have changed my life had I done it. Spend time living in a big city at some point. I grew up afraid of New York. Now it's my favorite place in the world. There is nothing more exciting. Listen to this. If you take anything with you besides that the Yankees are evil, this is it. There is nothing more exciting, nothing, to being in your 20s in a big city and going out at night and letting the city just sweep you up. You will meet the most interesting people from all over the world. One chance meeting can change your life, can change your career, can change your love life, can change your personal life. You never know who you're going to meet and from where they're going to be. Be very wary of setting deadlines for yourself. It's toxic. By age 28, I need to have done this or done that. Life does not unfold like that. It's fine if you don't have anything figured out when you're 25, 35, 40, maybe ever. Do not compare yourself to people who look like they have it figured out. They don't. I can promise you, they don't. Just control what you can control. Get uncomfortable. Fail. Get more uncomfortable. You will never learn about the world or become what you are supposed to be until you start breaking out of your comfort zone all the time. I am so jealous of you guys. Everything is in front of you. For now, go celebrate. Congratulations to the class of 2024, and thank you for this great, great honor.